to talk to you about the importance of getting pre-approved. If you're looking at financing your vehicle, I recommend don't do it backwards. A lot of people, what they usually do is they go to a dealership. Well, first of all, they decide, you know what, I want a new car. And they go to a dealership, they start looking around, and all of a sudden, you may see that car that you dreamed about for years. That Ford Mustang convertible with a black top or something like that, whatever car. It may have been a Mercedes Benz or something, but it was a car that really caught your eye and you were like, you know what, I like this car. And what happens when you like the car, you test drive it, you fall in love with the car, then you go into the car dealership and then you start talking about financing and they pull your credit and different things like that. That's backwards. If you know that you're going to car shop and you know it's time to buy a car, I recommend going to your local credit union first to get pre-approved. They have member service advisors that can actually talk to you about, your credit, talk to you about financing, your different options. They can go ahead and pre-approve you. They can give you what's called, it's like a blank check to say, this is your pre-approval amount. Let's say you're pre-approved for $20,000. You already know what your payment is going to be at $20,000, and you know you need to stay within those parameters. So therefore, when you go to a dealership, they don't have to pull your credit. They should not pull your credit. They should not, they should focus on selling your car that you're requesting. And you already know that in order for me to have a $400 car payment, that I need to stay within my $20,000 pre-approval. You already know your interest rate. You don't have to go through the games of, let me just say this. Some dealers, again, I'm not a dealer basher. There are some very good dealers out there. There are some very ethical dealers. There are some non-ethical dealers. My job is to give you tips to help you when it's time to just buy a car. So let's say, for instance, you go to a dealership. Some finance people, they like to, give you false information. And that false information may be, well, your credit, you had some issues in the past, and I don't know what the bank is going to do. And all of a sudden you're so nervous because you don't know if you're going to get pre-approved or not get pre-approved. But it's all a game. It's all a part of the game to get you in a position that you don't know what type of interest rate that's available to you. And then all of a sudden they throw out an interest rate. And let's say, for instance, they say, well, we'll give you a 8% interest rate. You may think, wow, I remember when I bought my car, 5 years ago, I got a 9% interest rate. So 8%, that's really good. But you don't know the market. The market right now, for your interest or for your credit, it may be a 2.9 interest rate. But you're putting your credit information into the hands of a dealer without doing your homework. I recommend doing your homework. Now, if you're looking at and if you want to take advantage of like 0% financing and different things like that, or 0.9 or whatever type of interest rates that dealers may be offering, make sure you go to your credit union first just to double check and get an accurate assessment of where you stand. And then also, even with some of those special interest rates that the dealers are offering, you want to make sure that you itemize it because, even though it's a 0% interest rate, if you need to make sure that you look at the fine print because the fine print may say 0% interest rate or $3,000 rebate. And if you itemize it and look and see what is my payment is going to be if I take the 0% and not the 3,000 rebate, and what is my payment is going to be or if I take the $3,000 rebate and go with like a 1.9 or 2.9 interest rate, am I going to come out the same type of payments? You'll probably be very surprised. So don't be fooled just by the 0% interest rates and different things like that. Some of them may be good. Some of them are actually real. If you get a 0% and you only want to do 36 months, some of those are 0% for up to 36 months or 48 months. Some may go to 60 months, but you want to make sure that you look at the fine print. I recommend going to your credit union first. I'm a big advocate of credit unions. They offer some of the lowest interest rates out there, and they are focused on member education. And it's just a great place to start when it's time to shop for a car. So if you're not a member of a credit union, make sure you go do a Google search, look up credit unions in your city, and see and ask, how can I join a credit union? If you need more information, you can actually go ahead and type in your comments below, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions concerning pre-approval. But it's like this. How can you build a house without a plan? How can I, go to Los Angeles? I want to take a road trip from Atlanta to Los Angeles. How can I go there without mapping out a plan? Mapping out a plan of direction where I want to go and what freeways I'm going to take and different things like that. It's the same thing with the car business and shopping for a car. How are you going to go to a car dealership without a plan? I know, yes. Here's another thing I want to tell you. Some people, they'll go to a dealership and they'll say, I only want a $320 car payment. The salesperson may say, okay, $320, no problem. We'll help focus on that for you. All of a sudden, you go, you find the car that you like and everything. You get to the table. They start presenting all the information and all that. And then you get your $320 payment. And then you may not realize this, but that $320 payment may be for 84 months. So they may have totally sold and sold the car for more than it's worth, but you got your $320 payment. That's why it's so important to look at each individual thing. Look at the selling price of the car. Look at what type of add-ons are being added to the car. Look at how many months that you're being financed. That's why I'm stressing this point. Go to your credit union and get pre-qualified first before shopping for a car, because you can itemize everything. Any more questions? Feel free to send it on the bottom of the screen. You can always reach me at carbuyingbook.com. Again, I'm the author of 10 Mistakes to Avoid When Buying Your Next Car, and you can pick up that book as well. But thank you so much for your time.